Hi everybody and welcome back to the JOBCAST. I know it's been a little bit of a long time coming and you're probably wondering who we actually are. So I think we'll start off and introduce ourselves. So I'm Sophie Johnson. I'm a apprentice project support officer working with the employment support team.
And I'm Leon Collins, also apprentice project support officer working with economic development and regeneration. And this is the JOBCAST, a podcast for the employment support team, or rather from the employment support team for all of you, to help you in finding work, in gaining employability skills, and in improving your career. The Employment Support Team is a service run by the Southampton City Council to help people get into work. It provides a number of different programs targeting people with various barriers preventing them from getting into work and providing them the help they need to overcome those barriers and find not only employment but a job that they actually want to be working with.
We really want this to be something where a range of things are covered for people not only just job seeking but also for those in employment, and we're always open to suggestions. So if there's anything that you guys would like to hear specifically, or maybe that we can invite in who you'd like to listen to, please let us know. We really want to be for this to be something where you guys can come to us and listen to what you actually want to be able to hear. So we appreciate the last post for the JOBCAST was in 2021, is that right, Leon?
Yeah, 21 or 22, a while ago.
Yeah, so probably about 5 years ago now. And we appreciate so much has changed globally, and that's the same within Southampton City Council as well. So the JOBCAST that was sort of from then is probably going to look a little bit different to how it's going to be now.
Moving forward, we want to make this a resource for people to draw on to find employment, to support people who are already in employment with additional skills and advice, to really help people understand the options that are out there for them, not just for job seekers or for those who are struggling with employment, but really for everyone. In these last 5 years, the job market has changed significantly. The way people interact with the job market has changed dramatically. New tools have been introduced. AI has become prevalent in the recruitment process, which has really changed the way that you need to go about things if you want to get a job and if you want to get the right job for you. So we would like to offer advice and support to help people understand what's out there and how to get where they want to go.
To tell you more about these past 5 years and what the team has been up to and accomplished, we held an interview with Senior Development Officer Daniel Stickland, and just talking about what the team's been up to, the progress, and where we'd like to go in the future.
So let's switch over to Dan now.
Hi everybody, we're joined today with Dan Stickland, who's one of the senior managers for the employment support team. He's going to tell us a little bit more about everything that we've been up to since the last episode. But Dan, I'll let you introduce yourself better than I can.
Thank you. I'm Dan Stickland. I'm a senior development officer within the employment support team and former host of the JOBCAST.
Excellent. So you've talked about the employment support team on the first season of the JOBCAST and its projects like Path, which concluded since then. Could you tell us a bit more about these finished projects and what they achieved and sort of the work that you're doing on them at that time?
Yeah, definitely. It was really interesting actually when you guys asked me to look at this. Actually going back and looking back at it all was really quite cool, seeing actually just what we've achieved as a team in the last 5 years or so. So yeah, you mentioned Path. That was one of the projects that I was working on, which was around supporting parents, raising awareness of perinatal mental health. We did a lot of work with employers as well, and I think the legacy of that's really lived on in a lot of the work we do today. It's given us knowledge and experience as a team for our current project, and yeah, the work we do with employers on that as well. It's nice stuff that we can talk about with them and make sure that group of people isn't forgotten. And we've also had Solent Get Into Employment, which was quite a big project we ran. I think when the JOBCAST was initially running, we were just starting that project, and that was aimed at people with neurodiversity, so supporting them into employment. And that was a really great project. It's kind of paved the way for some of the big projects that we've got today. It gave us a lot of lessons learned, things that we can talk about with clients, and make sure we're providing really top level support. And the final one that's concluded since last time was Team, which was our project for council tenants. That had been going for a very long time. And what we've been very fortunate enough is that we've been able to continue the work clubs. So Team really kind of laid those foundations, and the legacy lives on in new projects, which is really cool.
Oh, that's excellent. You mentioned with, I think it was Path, that you engage with employers. What sort of things would you be doing when you're sort of engaging with employers?
So engaging with employers in general, we're talking to them about exactly why they should be recruiting people from different backgrounds with different health conditions, actually, enriching their workforce. There's a lot of research around, the purple pound, people with disabilities, the spending power that they have, and actually how your workforce can represent those groups and be reflective of the people that you're serving. So actually, it's a lot of the stuff we're saying is hiring people with diverse backgrounds is really good for business. And within that, then we're talking about our offer of the things that we can provide in terms of the employment support offer and supporting clients and making sure that everyone's thriving in the workplace. We can support around things like access to work, but also supporting employers in general as a wider team. Within the Employment and Skills Division of the council, we've got stuff around apprenticeships and upskilling the workforce. So there's a huge amount of stuff on offer for employers. So for us, it's really nice to be able to go out and not be asking them for something, but actually being able to provide something. That's really cool.
That's really cool.
Excellent. So helping people with a lot of different needs on both sides of the equation.
Yeah.
Now, since then, the employment support team has grown quite a bit and moved on to a lot of new projects. Would you like to tell us about some of those? Yeah.
So it's been a very busy few years since we last did the podcast. So we had local supported employment, I think was one that came in after Path. I moved on to start that project up, and that was supporting people with autism and learning disabilities. And that project's evolved and grown. It's now run by one of my colleagues, and it's still supporting people and doing a really good job of using that supported employment model, which I'm sure we'll talk about in future episodes. But that's kind of laid a lot of the foundation for other projects. We've got our new IPS service, so it's not new anymore, but our IPS service for drug and alcohol services. So actually we have employment specialists integrated within CGL, Change Grow Live, and within Dash, which is part of No Limits, and they're the local drug and alcohol services. So actually integrating employment support into their recovery and making employment a real meaningful thing. So it's a specialist service we're providing in that sense. I'm really pleased to be managing the Adults Employment Hub. So that started in 2023. Or 2024, I lose track. But that's a dedicated space for people who are over 50 to get support with finding work. And we're really proud of that one because we're the first 50 plus hub in the country. So therefore we're also the best. But it's a really great project, and being able to give over 50s their own space in the same way that we do with our youth hub, which is still running as well. And then we've had lots of other projects. We had some funding from UK Shared Prosperity Fund, which meant we could work with economically inactive individuals and really widen the eligibility criteria. I think the main change since last time was that we could only work with very certain cohorts, and it was the worst part of the job was always telling someone they weren't eligible for our support. But thanks to that funding, we're now in a position where we can work with pretty much anyone who's not working, lives in Southampton and wants our support, which is really, really nice, and keeps us busy. So that project, it kept the work clubs going as well. So we're still out in the community talking to people, and it's kind of laid the groundwork for Connect to Work, which is our newest and probably the biggest project we've ever had, which has caused our team to expand a lot. So in short, if you're living in Southampton and you need help finding work, we've probably got something that can help.
Which is good. I can imagine as well, people looking and seeking help and not being able to access it previously must have been something that was quite tough. So the new sort of resources that are out there sound really great.
Yeah, it's game changing.
And you mentioned with the over 50s hub, that is the first one in the country. What do you think the importance of something like that is with that specific kind of group in sort of societies, maybe generally in the UK or specifically in Southampton?
Yeah, it's essential. I think there's a lot of focus, rightly so, there's a lot of focus on different groups. And I think actually for people who are over 50, it can be very challenging for them if they've worked for a very long time, and for whatever reason, whether it's because of health condition, caring responsibilities, redundancy, they find themselves out of work. And actually the entire employment landscape since they first started working has changed.
Yeah.
And navigating that is really scary. So actually just having someone in your corner, being able to say, it's all right, we'll navigate this together. We'll talk through what's a CV and go through the interview process. I think a lot of stuff that we tend to take for granted, a lot of people, particularly over 50, haven't had to do that before.
Yeah.
So actually just having a space and resource to be able to help people navigate that is really, really beneficial. And I think not having to share that space either. I think showing people who are over 50, you're not past it. We're not writing you off. You can still contribute loads in terms of your skills and your experience, and having a dedicated hub that visually demonstrates that for people is really, really helpful in building that confidence.
Definitely.
All right, so you certainly have a lot of different things going on. But as the saying goes, you always want, often quality over quantity, in this case quality as well as quantity. You've achieved quite a number of things, such as being named the base team of the year in, I believe that was 2021, earning an exemplary for the IPS service, and getting some recognition such as the Matrix accreditation. Could you tell us what some of these mean, and what it means for people who come to us for help that we have these skills?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the really important thing for us is we've got a lot of projects, a lot of things going on, but it's not just a numbers game for us. It's about that quality. We want to support people and get it right first time so that people don't end up back in front of us because it's not worked out. So a lot of these things that you've mentioned are kind of quality frameworks, really, which make sure that we're delivering as best we can. There's a lot of research. You mentioned IPS, which is individual placement and support, and that is specifically used around mental health. Our team's also doing some work around using it for addiction, and there's some other places using it around gambling as well. So that is a really structured model around that quality assurance. So they have their model fidelity framework, and really the research that's gone into that shows that the closer you are to model fidelity, is the better your outcomes are going to be, the better quality service you're going to be delivering. So we obviously want to be very good, and with our most recent assessment against that, we were the first in the country to get an exemplary model fidelity status, which we're very proud of. And we've also had on the one of the other models we use is supported employment, and one of the frameworks to measure the quality in that is something called supported employment quality framework. And again, we've had two of those assessments. Again, how we're using that, and we've achieved good accreditation on that. So for us, it's definitely about making sure that we're supporting people and doing it well, rather than just getting loads of people through the door. And also, when we achieve these great things, I always think it's really important that we don't just sit back and go, yeah, we've achieved that, job done. The great thing about a lot of these frameworks and things is it's all about continuing improvement and development, and so there's always action plans that we have, there's always improvements for us to work towards. So as a service, we're always constantly developing, we're reacting to the needs of the community, and those frameworks allow us to do that. And it's also nice that when a member of the public comes to our service, they know that they're getting something legit and of a good quality.
Yeah, definitely. And just as a hypothetical question, so let's say if we were interviewing you next year and asking sort of what's happened in an ideal world, what would you like to have said with the teams at the moment and the projects? Where would you like to be in sort of a year's time?
That's a really good question. I think for me personally, it's always been about that zero exclusion principle for us as a team and not being able to turn anyone away. So, you know, I would love it for, as a service, to be able to say we can support anybody who needs it. And we're pretty close to that now. But yeah, there's still plans in the pipeline, things we're looking to do to just make sure that any resident of the city that needs us can access that. So yeah, that's kind of my goal. And yeah, I think within a year we could be pretty close to that.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic.
I want to pull back just for a second to what you mentioned in regards to the frameworks and the research showing that as you get closer to those, you get better results. I think it's excellent that the effort and work is being put into doing that kind of research. Do you get a lot of resources that kind of tell you what might be a good direction to grow in as a service and what, you know, the best practices are?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the great thing about the world of employment support is that everyone is really keen to share. So we work with a lot of other councils, charities, organisations that do a similar thing to us, and we'll kind of talk about what's going well, what's not so well, and learning from each other. So within that, yeah, there's research, but there's also groups and webinars and that kind of stuff. We've got forums that we're a part of, and also within the employment support world, there's a lot of kind of training available and things like that, so we'll get recommended stuff as part of those assessments for our staff to do, just to make sure that we're keeping upskilled. An example of that at the moment, the latest thing is around artificial intelligence and how that's impacting not just employment services and how we deliver what we do, but employers and how they recruit. So for us as a team, it's really important that we upskill in those areas, and those assessments that we have give us really useful pointers for how we can do that.
Fantastic. So is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners for this new season of the JOBCAST, and the new job market will be helping them into, especially you mentioned AI is really changing the way that we interact with recruiters' job applications. So yeah, what are you thinking? Yeah,
I think it's really exciting. When I did the first season, me and Francesca did the first season of the JOBCAST, the world was a very different place. A lot of stuff's changed, some things not so good, but a lot of things for the better. There's a lot of opportunity and things, so I'm very excited to hear about it when I'm listening to the JOBCAST, and it's in very safe hands with Sophie and Leon.
Well, thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
So a big thank you to Dan for taking the time for a little interview with us and to expand a little on who the employment support team are and what it is that we have to offer for all of you. We're hoping to have more guests on in the future to talk about more events, more programs, and all the things going on in Southampton to help people find work.
Speaking of, we have big news. We are hosting another jobs fair on the 5th of March at the Guildhall between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. So far, we have over 35 confirmed exhibitors, including employers, training providers, and wellbeing services as well. So there's already a great range of people that are going to be there, whether you're looking to get into employment, take the steps into getting a dream job, or finding some wellbeing services along the way to support you on your journey, whether you're already in employment or not.
Yeah, the Jobs Fair is a great opportunity where a whole range of exhibitors will be coming along to show off a little bit of what they have available for potential employees and to give people a chance to approach them outside of a normal recruitment and interview process. So it's a great opportunity for you to put yourself in front of people and either potentially find a vacancy, or if not, just gain a little bit of experience in interacting with employers and a little bit of self-confidence in practice.
Yeah, exactly that. And even with this jobs fair, the main thing is just attending and gaining something from it, whether that be experience, a job, or just a different perspective on what you've witnessed, especially with the wellbeing providers as well. It's something that's really valuable. The employment support team will also be attending, so please do come and find us, and if you do need any support or if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Everybody is really friendly and very approachable as well, and possibly if you're not sure what steps to take, maybe you need a little bit of extra help with your CV, we can also point you in the directions of where we can assist with those sort of things. So please do come say hello.
Besides the jobs fair, the employment support team also hosts regular events around Southampton where you can come to a work club that provides drop-in sessions and free support to help you with CV writing, job searching, whatever it may be that you need help with. They're also potentially able to refer you to any other services that we provide and may be able to better support you if you have more long-term needs. Excellent. We look forward to seeing you there, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.
Thanks. Bye.